Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. So, I want to talk about Andre Drummond's different places he could go. I've heard a few names, all very interesting. At this point, he's being sat, which is normal. That's honestly normal. I know Draymond Green got on TV and expressed how he was not happy about how Drummond was treated. He came out in his warm-up gear, and then they told him to go off the court and came back in a uniform. And he just felt like that wasn't fair treatment. He didn't mention that it wasn't normal, though. It really is. It happens all the time. It's been like that since I can remember. When a guy's getting ready to be traded, you don't play him just in case he gets hurt or something. So that's standard. I can't say I agreed with Draymond in regards to that. I can't lie to you guys, because what if Drummond breaks an ankle? Now the trade can't happen. The perspective of the player is, would you like to be in a better situation? Do you want to be in Cleveland? That's the question. And I think the answer is, of course not. Drummond has an opportunity to go win a championship somewhere. Drummond has an opportunity to play for a team that doesn't have like 8 centers, a playoff team at the very least. I think it would be in Drummond's best interest to not play in that game and just be patient and wait for a trade to come through. So I understand where Draymond's coming from in terms of the overall treatment of players and how they're treated, but I think this particular example wasn't the greatest example of that, in my opinion. So I just wanted to say that part. But as far as Drummond, where he can go, the first place I've been hearing about is Toronto. Now, here's the problem with the video here. I don't know what these packages could even remotely look like. I'm not a cap specialist either, so I couldn't tell you who can go for what. And if I do, there's no cap understanding. So at this point, I'm just telling you the names of what I think of the fits. But if obviously certain players are removed from the team, you have a different fit entirely. All it takes is a few players to change the team around. So bringing in Drummond is definitely going to be a massive piece. So I'd imagine he's going to be a pretty solid haul. So with Toronto, it's really cool for them because right now they've invested in Aaron Baines, and Aaron Baines hasn't panned out for them. He had a really good season with Phoenix last year, but just like most people who leave Phoenix, they don't have the same type of year the next year. That's been a running theme, it seems. They just had something really special going on in Phoenix last year with the way the players were playing on that team. And, you see Oubre, he's not quite having the season with Golden State, obviously. Baines the same. So at this point, I'm looking at the situation. I'm saying, okay, well, of course they got Chris Boucher, but Chris Boucher could play the 4. If you don't involve him in the trade, which I would imagine you don't, unless there's a third team, because why would Cleveland want to bring back any bigs at all? If anything, if I'm Cleveland, I want maybe a 3. The Cleveland doesn't have a whole lot of needs. They can upgrade in some areas, but they really do have a full team. They just need those guys to grow up and develop properly and stay healthy. I think they're pretty much set. I'm not gonna lie, their roster looks set to me. So whatever they bring back is just icing on the cake. And if it were up to me and I'm in Cleveland, I'm not trying to bring back no 5s at all. And if you bring back a 4, let him be more so like a 3 in playing style than a 4, in my opinion. But even at the 3 spot, they're not hurting. They got Isaac Okoro, who's a youngster who's starting to show signs that he can really do some things. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I think he has a future, and I think his future's with the Cavs. So, like I said, if they bring back anything, it should be some 3s. But maybe like a Norman Powell or something like that. I don't know. A couple guys of that caliber. They have the pieces. I don't imagine they'd be bringing in Kyle Lowry. Like I said, if a third team is involved, maybe I could see a player like that going a third place, but I don't know. I really don't know. But Toronto it seems to be the front runner for Andre Drummond at this point. It looks like they're the team that I've seen the most of in regards to rumors. And the fit would be cool. They need a center. Obviously, they're set in other areas depending on what they trade away for him. So I think the fit is fine. The thing about Andre Drummond that I've learned is that, and I haven't watched a whole lot of Drummond. I didn't watch a lot of Pistons. I didn't watch a lot of Cleveland, so it wouldn't be a whole lot of visual there. But I know that he turns the ball over in an abnormal amount for a center. And he really does shoot a low percentage on the inside for a center, which is something I was not aware of. So to me, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I heard that he shoots a low percentage from in the paint, and then I look at his rebounding percentages, I don't like putting this on guys because it's a derogatory thing, but it looks like stat padding to me. A guy is that close to the basket and he continues to brick, yeah, but he continues to get offensive rebounds. It's 9 out of 10 times it's done purposefully. Now, I'm not saying that Drummond's doing it purposefully, but hey, it's smart for a guy who probably was in Detroit, a team that wasn't going nowhere, was trying to get a $100 million contract to pad his stats. It's not a bad strategy. It just is a derogatory thing in the world of sports for some reason. But it is what it is. That's what it seems like to me. He's missing the rebounds, missing those shots on purpose. So I think if Drummond gets in a really good situation where he's winning a championship caliber team, I think you'll see those percentages go up. I would like to think his turnovers will go down, but his style of play is kind of herky-jerky. He kind of does things he probably shouldn't out there. He's going to need some good coaching going forward to kind of reel him in. And I think looking at his demeanor from afar, I think he would be willing to take on the right criticism if in the right situation, surrounded by people he believes in. So Toronto wouldn't be a bad spot. That's a rich culture. Obviously, they're displaced right now. They're in Tampa for a season, but this move is not done for this season. This move is done for several seasons. And I think once he gets back to Toronto, once they get back to Toronto, Andre Drummond could be a very, very intricate part of what they do. So I don't think that's a bad fit at all. I don't, depending on what they give up. Another name I've seen out there is the Los Angeles Lakers for Drummond. And our situation's tricky because I have no idea what we would give up. We would probably have to deplete some of our depth to bring him in. Kuzma would probably have to be involved. I'm sure they would want THT. Like I said, they're going to want threes in Cleveland. And we do have some threes. Wesley Matthews, guys like that, KCP. Any number of those guys could probably be involved in the deal, in my opinion. And to be honest with you, I'm not super in love with that. His turnovers concern me, and his lack of winning circumstances and experience concerns me, and the fact that he doesn't stretch the floor could concern me when it's time for Anthony Davis to come back and then they have to learn how to play with one another. That could be a little bit of a headache. I don't know that it would be something that you don't do for the right price, but as far as my envisioning of what our team looks like with Drummond on the floor, we're definitely good, but I think we're bringing on some problems that we don't have right now when we bring him in. Bringing in some solutions to our center position, obviously, with AD being out and with Marc Gasol being done, respectfully, obviously he's going to be a star player. He's going to come in and do big things, but some of his deficiencies are going to be glaring, and for our team, we don't need those deficiencies. He's not the greatest defensive player at the center position, but he is a high-volume rebounder, which is going to help on the defensive side of the ball anyway. So, I mean, all in all, if you can get him for a great price, we throw him in here and we just see what we can do. But I have a weird feeling that the fit's going to be funny here. I just don't think that's the greatest fit. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll certainly welcome him. And we'll go from there. But I just don't want to give up a guy like Kyle Kuzma, THT, and say a KCP for him. I would hate that deal a lot. Just being honest. So we'll see what comes of that. My gut tells me we're not going to get Drummond. I think there are other teams that are going to put up better packages for Drummond. Another name I've seen flying around for Andre Drummond was the Boston Celtics. And they make a lot of sense. I think that's a really good fit for him as well. You talk about Jason Tatum, you talk about Jaylen Brown, you talk about the guard tandem in Smart, and of course Kemba Walker and Peyton Pritchard. They got a really nice team, but they don't have a whole lot of talent at the center position. Robert Williams is a couple years away, even though I think he can turn into something too. It's going to take some time. Daniel Tice is really playing well. I like Daniel Tice. He's just getting better and better and better and better. But I don't believe he's your answer when you're talking about going up against a guy like Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic or whoever the Celtics would see in their route, in their path. They would have issues at the center position if they're lining up those guys against an elite player. So bringing in Andre Drummond would be a good fit. They do have enough in picks and players to try to make the deal happen without depleting themselves completely. I think we would be a great upgrade, obviously, to what they have. So, yeah, that would be the move. That would be the move for the Boston Celtics. I think they should be very, very interested in making that deal happen. Another name I saw for Andre Drummond was the Brooklyn Nets. I think that that's another one of those situations where it's like, I don't know where they're going to find the pieces to try to bring that in. They've already done a deal with the Nets, in taking Allen. I think if the Nets were going to bring back Drummond, chances are they probably would have done it in that deal. So I don't really think the Nets have a competitive enough package to compete with some other packages that are going to be out there. Obviously, Andre Drummond would be a fantastic addition to their team. They need another center. They need depth. They need anything that could take pressure away from them defensively because they are strained there. And, if they can bring him in, that would be great. Now, I wouldn't give up Joe Harris to get him. I wouldn't give up that piece. And obviously, we don't even have to mention what else they're not going to give up because we know what's not leaving that team. So the rest of what they have, I just don't know what kind of package they could put together that would be competitive for Brooklyn. I mean, for Cleveland, that they don't already have. I mean, the players that I wanted off of the Nets, if I'm Cleveland, I have. Like, they've already given them to me. So I don't need to do a deal with you guys. That would be my thing with that. Let's see. I don't remember the other teams that I saw, but I think a decent fit for Andre Drummond would also be the Los Angeles Clippers. I didn't see them mentioned. I don't know that they have the pieces either to make a competitive bid for him, but I do believe that he would be a very, very formidable fit and a formidable foe for Anthony Davis to have to go up against, given the fact that the Clippers really don't have too many weaknesses this year outside of the center position and the point guard position. So if they were able to get Andre Drummond, I'm not going to lie to you, ain't nothing on that Clippers bench, in my opinion, something they have to keep. Nothing on the bench is what they have to keep. So whatever package they need to give up to get Andre Drummond, they probably should do it. They don't have nothing I want. Look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Lou Williams is the player that I would probably center the deal around if I'm trying to get Andre Drummond, if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, because I think when you talk about firepower from your guard spot, they already have two amazing guards. You bring in Lou Williams off the bench. If anything happens to either one of those two guys, Lou Williams can come in and still keep the momentum going. So I'd like that for the Cleveland Cavaliers, as well as bringing in like a veteran leadership, playoff experience. He would be a great vet for that young club, in my opinion. So I think that would be a good spot for Lou Williams. Or whether, I don't think Lou would want to be in a winning situation, but I think for the Cavs, Lou would be a good player for them to bring in. Sort of like Derrick Rose for the Knicks right now. It's just, he would be that type of player for them. The Clippers can do a couple things. I would be hesitant to put Batum in a deal because I think he gives them some insurance for their two small forwards who are not reliable in staying healthy despite being very talented, in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So Batum gives them a little bit of that energy. They don't really have to stress too much when those guys aren't on the floor. Batum can kind of do some of those things that they can do just on a much lesser level. And I'm being called, so I'm going to holler at you guys later. Thanks.